Making your way through work Monday takes everything you got. Then Monday night rolls around and you realize there's a shot. You're only 10 points away. All those times when your team had no fight, they're just so gosh darn frail. Then your star quarterback let another deep ball sail, and your third round pick bet on his team. Then go check out our streets where everybody knows your game, and they listen to complaints. You wanna be where you can see our bodies bring you no shame. You wanna go where everybody knows your pain.
Welcome into another episode of Dad Bod Fantasy Squad. I am here with Robbie. Bobby, what's up, guy?
What's going on, brother?
Not much, dude. Not much. It's been a while. You know?
Has it?
I don't know.
I just keep seeing your ugly mug because we're doing all these
I just feel like
these guest videos, so all my days are running together anymore. We're doing.
We just text every day, and we didn't text this week and it really hurt.
I'm so sick of you, dude. I just need a break every once in a while.
We also got Norton on the show. What's up, guy?
Not much. How you doing?
Doing good, dude. Just got done with my home, like my to my heart home league draft, right? The one that's been going for a solid since 06. What is that? 17 years? 17 years,
yeah,
dude.
I love it. I
You're
love
old,
it,
man.
That's the one. That's the one for me that's coming up this weekend.
Oh, dude.
Mine too.
Yeah.
Such a good
mine
time. This was the earliest. We're having some issues on Facebook, it appears.
Yeah.
This was the earliest we have ever done it. We've usually done Labor Day. This year, I got in two rounds of golf. Got in some trying to look at Facebook at the same time. We did Survivor, which was really cool. Brian came up with it. He had all of these mini games and everything, and it was all for. We do an auction league, so it was all for $25 extra. That's quite an advantage when it's 200. You get an eighth, 12% more.
Yeah,
That's true.
Not bad.
Me and Cody and I made it to the final three. No, Cody got booted at 4. I made it to the final 3. Then it comes down to jury vote, and we got screwed over. It was real messed up, real dirty. But so there was a conversation. I'm in another league. Its draft is coming up. Let me do a quick shout out if you don't mind. I'm going to share my screen. There's a podcast. I'm in their draft with them. It's called IOU Media Group. Their podcast is IOU Podcast. So if you're not subscribed to them, IOU Media Group 1154, they talk about everything. They're not fantasy football. So if that's what you're interested in, I get it. They're not fantasy football, but they talk about a little bit of everything. They're doing a draft. And one of the conversations that we had today was, what are some of the best draft selection processes? Now, before I ask you guys that, let me put a little caveat here. The reason I bring this up is, and I didn't even respond in the chat. The reason I bring this up is because they were talking about Madden, 40-yard dashes, and my true opinion on that is it's a little unfair. Right? Like you kind of have to do things that are like lucky and 100% fair for everyone. Like I'm going to get smoked in a 40-yarder. I'm going to get my ass clapped in Madden. Like both of those things are going to happen. So I was thinking, I have my favorite. I'll go last in case you guys take it. What are your favorite ways to do draft selection to determine order?
Go ahead, Mark.
Yeah, you go.
You go with me. Okay. First one that it's funny that you mentioned the unfairness, because my favorite one really isn't fair that we did. The favorite one I've ever had for a fantasy draft in a league I've been in was, I think I've told you guys about this 16 team 2 QB league that I'm in, and so there's 16 teams, right? We had a 4-on-4 basketball tournament.
Okay.
That's cool.
Yeah, and I mean, I play.
What happens
I
when
play,
you get down?
So then we did it 2 years in a row. So the first year we and there's kind of like, it's kind of nice because there's kind of like 4 of us that are pretty good at basketball, then like 4 that are kind of like mediocre, then 4 that are like kind of lesser, and then 4 that are pretty horrible. So we had them like tiered out like that, and you would get a random draw like of each, one from each, so it would kind of even out the teams. And then the first year that we did it, we then turned it in after we finished the 4-on-4 tournament. We turned it into like a 2-on-2 and 1-on-1 tournament. And
That's right.
so
That's right.
yeah, I thought the same thing. I was letting it slide, but yeah. So then we did that, but then no one really liked the 2-on-2 and 1-on-1 aspect of it. So the following year we did the 4-on-4, and then we got down and we just like drew cards for the final. Like if you got
between the 4 of you guys.
What's that?
Should have been like 21 between the 4 of you guys.
I mean, I would have been down for it for sure. But they weren't really
because it's tiered. Because it's tiered, like you have a tier 4 on.
Yeah, if you suck at basketball, like you're screwed.
Well, your team carried you to the first. 4. Your team carried you to first seed or whatever. You should deserve 4th, right?
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, no, yeah, for sure. So it was kind of like, and then we, people got a little bit older, and then not only that, but
knees started giving out.
Knees started going, and I mean, a lot of them, especially like even out of the 4 that were better, only 2 of us even play regularly anymore. So none of the other 14 even like play almost at all. So like people just didn't really want to do it anymore. But that was most fun. And again, it's just because I love basketball. So like that was my favorite.
Yeah, I got 2. One I'm gonna take from I want to say it's Fantasy Pros, or it's one of PFF, maybe one of those. They have like a pros turn or a pro like league where they did, I think it's like a 12-person Royal Rumble like simulated.
WWE, yeah. I
WWE
think it's an N64 game.
Simulated, where like no one's playing, but it's a simulated thing, so it's even. Whoever lasts the longest is the number 1 pick. I think that's pretty funny and cool way to do it, because they like customized each, like Dave Kluge was in it, and they made a Dave Kluge character, and he was wrestling and shit. Like it was funny. And then one that we do in our home draft, one of our buddies, the league manager, actually, he has a bunch of kids, and he always has a birthday party right before, and we'll be there and we'll pick a kid in, like, out of all the kids that are there, we'll pick a kid and they'll do a race. So
I love that one.
Yeah, and you're like sitting there, you're like measuring the kids up.
Come on home with the Jimmy. Come on home with the Jimmy.
Checking their teeth and stuff, making sure they're animals. Like, yeah, that's what you want. You want someone like some of those kids that are playing in the dirt, running around. Like that's
like, you got to check the dog factor for sure on these kids.
So more fleas the better.
You were combine before.
So yeah, that one's always a fun like way to do it, where you don't know, but there's always new kids and stuff like that every year, so you're just like, okay, this kid looks fast, let's do it.
I was gonna ask like how happens when the kids start getting older and catching on to what's going on. Are they more in on it, or are they just kind of out at that point?
We're starting to slip money to the kids, take a dive. So, yeah, pull a handy halfway through. But they're starting to get. But there's like 4 age groups, right? So like there's the oldest one, he's going into like middle school, and then there's 3 younger ones. So we'll probably start going to the younger kids soon, because he's the older
they
ones.
They got younger legs, dude.
Yeah, now we're getting there.
They're like turning out running backs over there. Jesus.
Yeah, yeah. There's there's always some fun stuff, and then we also we'll do like just names in a hat. And have the kids pick it out and stuff like that. So different ways to go about it for different leagues.
I think those are both really good. I again kind of like, I like what you just did, Norton, how you guys tiered it out. We actually did that in golf. Had nothing to do with our draft order, but we had tiers for golf, which was really fun. But for draft, before we went to auction, because obviously when you're in auction, like you don't really care about the draft order. There is no draft order. Before we went to auction, I mean, I posted the one today. We did an actual rubber duck race in a river, which is 100 times better than the virtual duck race. I mean, it was great. It was a lot of fun. There's a sneaky one though, and I think I've mentioned it either on Fantasy Bye Week, probably this last year. We did Sims, and they're all we had our own sim, and they're all in a house with no doors, nothing. And it was maybe there was a kitchen, maybe it was. I don't know where the fires came from. We have it on YouTube. It was the last sim surviving gets first pick, and kind of reverse, like if you died first, you were 12th pick. Dude, I just saw it on YouTube, an hour and 15 minutes long. And I swear there was probably 10 out of the 12 of us that watched that 4 hour and 15. Like, come on, baby, stay alive.
That was the first one out. I'd be gone.
yeah, of course then.
Yeah,
but,
you got to dip at that point.
Yeah.
Dude, it was wild. It was a good one. I think the common theme here is you got to get creative and try to make it as close to as fair as possible, and not something that you have an advantage or somebody might have an advantage of, because then it just kind of kills it. Like, you want to do the combine, you really do. You want to do everything that the combine does, but if you got that Jack's friend that runs ours of 4.7, that's probably great in your fantasy league. 4.8,
right? Exactly.
No, it's cool because like my one buddy, like I said, I think he's the only one with kids in the group. But since he has that birthday party and stuff, it's a cool way to, like, with all the kids there, and it's just fun for everybody, and everyone's involved, having a good time. So I suggest doing, like, if there's a bunch of kids involved, like, it's cool to do it that way.
He grabs him like Billy Madison. Look at me. This is not a game.
No,
you better run your ass off.
I force feed Skittles down the kid's throat right before. Let's
go, Mark Sean.
Get him a beer bong and just shoveling Skittles down his throat.
All right. I'm gonna get us over to the actual part of this show that we're gonna be talking. We are going to be talking QB rankings. And now most of our QB rankings are done. However, when I saw this, I was like, maybe I need to edit a couple things. But mostly they're official. But again, our rankings update automatically, real time. We have it in our highlights on Twitter. Norton updates. We talked about it pre-show every morning and tweets it out because he's a madman machine. So you can have access to our rankings if you want them at any point, and they will be real time and up to date. But today's episode is talking kind of those final QB rankings, and a little bit we're sprinkling in some questions that I don't think we've really got to talk about during this season. With that being said, we want to start off with Norton's favorite. Well, we got news first, don't we?
News.
We do got a little news.
That is not Norton's favorite.
Not my most favorite.
A 40-yard dash in the ocean sounds awesome.
That's a good idea.
It would be interesting to see.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I don't believe this one. Josh Jacobs expected to report before week 1. He has a deleted tweet saying something along the lines of, where did I say that? I had thought it was kind of weird that there was no tweets from Josh Jacobs at all. I think this is all real weird. Who wants to talk about this? We'll do one at a time, or we'll do one per news.
I think you hit it. I think you hit it. There's Jacobs put something up. Seems like he doesn't know what's going on. So I until he's there, I'm not buying it.
I'm not buying it either. Devon Achane injures shoulder and is week to week. This is quote, quote, good news. And I say that because it could have been a lot worse.
It was. A lot of people thought it was worse.
Norton, any concerns there?
I mean, it's not great. It's not as bad as we thought, though. It could have been, but it's definitely not great for, a rookie trying to win more time. But he's looked explosive when he's been out there. So, as long as they don't hire or sign someone, then I feel pretty good about him.
The bigger question mark is, like, it's preseason. The talks from him coming in to the NFL where he's so undersized. Is this going to be a reoccurring issue just because of his size?
Right.
That's the only caveat. Sam Howell officially named starting quarterback
I got distracted with trade talks.
Okay, I saw it. I don't think it's any surprise to any of us. Mario, any?
I am surprised.
Awesome.
I'm surprised. Yeah, I thought this was Jacoby Brissett's to lose. I don't know what to do with Sam Howell, but that is going to be fun to maybe bring him up sometime in this episode.
I like him. And then Jonathan Taylor granted permission to seek a trade. Interesting. Norton, what do you think?
Yeah, I still don't think it's going to happen. I think it's kind of a move to please him a little bit, and like basically say, hey, go out there, see if you can work a trade, find a trade for yourself, and knowing that they're not gonna, because they want, from what I had seen, they wanted more than what the Panthers got from McCaffrey, and which in one sense kind of makes sense because like doesn't he have isn't he younger than when McCaffrey got traded? So I get it from that standpoint, but it's funny that they say they want all this, except they talk about how they don't want to pay running back. So they value him enough to keep him, but not value him enough to pay him. So it's an interesting one. I still think I saw the odds that like Vegas books put out, and like his playing with the Colts was still like minus 300 or something like that. So I still think he's going to be there, but I mean, I'd love to see him go somewhere else.
Yeah, it's another one of those situations. Like, so you got to find the right person that's going to pay enough for him, and then give him a massive contract.
Right.
Like, it's a lot for a team to take on a running. I mean, we know what's going on with the running backs. Like, it's a lot.
Yep.
Interesting to see how that's going to play itself out.
Guess that player. Did I no jingle?
It is back, baby.
Go ahead, Norton, take it away.
Yeah, so we got QBs.
I know who
tonight,
it is.
So yeah, already instant.
No, I don't.
Well, record. So yeah, last year, player A, 17.9 points per game. He was QB 12. He had 291 rush yards.
I think I do know who this is.
His YPA was 7.0, QB 18. True completion percentage was 71.7%, QB 13.
Sneaky putting the true.
Mm-hmm.
He's got better weapons in 2023.
That's a cheat. Everybody thinks they have better weapons the following year.
No.
2023 ADP is 64.7 as QB8. I feel like that's going to be the one that kind of gives the biggest hint there.
Yeah.
Player B last year, 18.5 points per game, was QB8. Had 366 rush yards. 7.5 YPA, QB9. 73.9% true completion percentage, QB4.
What a stud.
Absolute stud. Better weapons in 2023 as well.
This is probably Dak. God bless it.
And his ADP, though, is 114.6.
Freaking
QB14.
Player B is Dak. Player A is Justin Herbert. Put it on the board.
Ooh, interesting. I think
the only reason I don't think player A is Justin Herbert because I thought he had 155 rush yards.
I was going to say A, Kirk Cousins, B, Geno Smith.
Wonder if we...
Interesting.
Kirk Cousins not going QB8. No. But if I had to pick one, God, no way Dak ran for 366, though, in the short time he played. So maybe I'm wrong about that. I think I like player B more. And I know whatever door opens on player B.
Maybe
B is 366 rush yards, Rob. He ran one 18-yard touchdown, and coach, I can't think of the coach's name right now, flipped out. Dude, he's like, whoa, who is this guy? And Dak couldn't have. I don't think he got 366 in 9 games. He doesn't run that much.
I think you're right. If player A is Justin Herbert. Now that I'm thinking about it.
I think so
Okay,
too.
so-
But player B can't be Dak. But it's gonna. I know whatever door opens up behind player B, I am going to be sad because that's the QB I want out of these two.
And you
Are we right
so,
on any of them, Nort?
So what? So you're both of you are
I'm
saying
going
Herbert,
Herbert A.
and then who are you going with B?
I don't have a guess yet.
I'm going Gino.
Three. That sounds about.
So I will say
Sounds about right.
Player A is not Justin Herbert.
J Herb. It's
It's
because of
not Justin
insurance.
Herbert. Who's the other guy going around him in drafts right now?
Deshaun.
That's a good guess, but it's
Yeah, I was gonna say that's
He didn't get the
291
rush
in
yards either.
6 games.
He did rush 6 times per game.
as I say, he did rush a good amount. But who's the other guy? He's another guy with some flow.
Trevor Lawrence.
It is
T-Law.
Trevor Lawrence, Robbie's
Well,
guy.
I'm glad I probably picked player B so far.
Oh,
TLE.
Gino.
He tried.
I was right on Gino.
You were right on Gino.
I'll take it.
Man,
Whew.
that's crazy that I just took Gino over T-Law, huh?
Yeah, I don't blame you. I mean, no, it was wild.
I'm still going with A.
I know you. I knew you would. I did that one for you specifically, your boy.
Yeah, I know you did.
But no, yeah, it's interesting though. Like when I was looking through and just looking, I've been trying to look at different guys with like similar kind of stats and then like farther apart in
What's up, Albert?
ADPs. So what's up, Al?
I like it. I like it a lot. Mario,
We're
you
gonna
ready
do quick
for your
rattles
top
here,
12?
boys. Is that
Let's
cool with
do it.
you?
Yeah.
We're almost gonna just get them out into the world, and then we're gonna move on to the questions. Number 1 is Patty Mahomes. Number 2 is Josh Allen. Number 3, Jalen Hurts. Number 4, Joe Burrow. Number 5, Lamar Jackson. Number 6, Justin Herbert. Here's where people get mad at me. Number 7, Kirk Cousins. Number 8, Aaron Rodgers. Number 9, Justin Fields. 10, Jordan Love, who I'm loving this preseason. Number 11, Tua Tagovailoa. And number 12, Trevor Lawrence. I wish I just said Tua, dude. I never was going to be able to do it. Do it, Rob.
Tagovailoa.
Tagovailoa.
I think that's how you say it.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Should we
go through all of ours or should we start with questions?
We'll
go through all of ours, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Going through mine. Rob's top 12 QBs for the year. Patty Mahomes coming in at number 1. Jalen Hurts at number 2. Josh Allen, number 3. Justin Herbert coming in at number 4. Trevor Lawrence at number 5. Joe Burrow coming in at 6. This is pre-injury, so I might have to adjust that. Number 7, Justin Fields. Number 8, Deshaun Watson. Number 9, Lamar Jackson. Number 10, Daniel Jones. Number 11, Dak Prescott. And number 12, Russell Wilson.
That Russell Wilson one is pretty wild.
A little spicy. Little spice.
Little spice with the Russ.
It is.
Little spice.
All right.
And Mr. Rob Norton.
Heading over to mine. Number 1, Jalen Hurts. Number 2, Josh Allen. Number 3, Patrick Mahomes. Number 4, Lamar Jackson. Number 5, Justin Fields. 6, Justin Herbert.
I see a nice reason for all those top 5. Besides
Absolutely. Joe Burrow at 7. Deshaun Watson at 8. Anthony Richardson at 9.
He went up.
Just put him in your top 5, dude. Get him there.
It's getting close. I'm getting close.
You might as well
Lawrence
take
at
out
10.
Patrick Mahomes or Herbert, I guess, or Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah. Let
He's-
Anthony Richard hit that 6 for A-Rich.
A-Rich is going to cook soon enough for me. He's going to be up there. Gino at 11. And Danny Dimes at 12.
All right, Rob,
Yeah.
here's what I ask of you. When I ask these
Okay.
questions, as you're answering, if you don't mind having your top 12 just right next to it as we go with that. So, like, we'll start off with this first question to Norton since his is up right now.
Okay.
Name a
That's
QB.
not a lot of me over here.
Yes, I am.
But we'll
Name a
make it
QB
work.
in your top 5 that has the potential to slip outside the top 10, and then why?
Wow, it's the thing about it, man. I was
Pick one.
I know. I was looking at I did see this right before we came on, and I kept thinking, I'm like, I honestly don't think any of them really do, because I think Mahomes is
Of
like,
course you can't.
yeah, Mahomes
You
is like the
can't.
safest technically, just because he's Mahomes. But then the other four all run, and I think running guys just give such a high floor. Like Fields was nothing was not anything as a passer, but he was top 5. Like, so to drop out of top 10, I guess I'd have to say Justin Fields, just because if he does happen to run a lot less and he doesn't develop as a passer, like that's the only way. Because again, like I mentioned it so many times on here, talking about Daniel Jones specifically was top 10, and he ran for 700 yards and passed for 3,215. And I think Fields, like 700 rushing yards is almost a baseline. So like, if he does drop back to like that 700 or 800 range and he doesn't pass for 3,215, then I could see that dropping out. So like Fields, I guess, would be the one that I would see going out of the top 10, if any, because of that reason.
I like it.
I feel it. I Fields it. And the reason is because I'm a little bit nervous about Jay Fields as well. Let's say here's my reason why he could fall out the top 5. If they make him, and I don't think this will happen, say they're like, you know what, you didn't run in college, let's get you back in the pocket. And then what if he doesn't have that great of a year in the pocket? I don't know if they turn to the run halfway through after they notice that, or what would happen, but that would be a likely scenario that could happen. I shouldn't say likely. I should say a possibility, a small possibility at that. So
I like it. Oh, this is gonna be
Robbie.
Yeah,
we could remove you while you do that. There you go.
We're good.
Name a QB in your top 5 that has the potential to slip outside the top 10, and why?
Yeah. As much as it pains me to say it, I'm going to have to go with Trevor Lawrence, unfortunately, but I don't think it will happen. It's just out of this group of guys, I think T-Law has the greatest likelihood of slipping out, just due to, one, he doesn't have that baseline rushing ability, right? Like that we're talking about with all the other guys. Allen, Hurts, even Mahomes to an extent, like he runs around a little bit. And Justin Herbert, he'll probably get back up to like that 400-yard range. I don't think T-Law will get there. And then if Calvin Ridley doesn't develop into what we expect him to be, maybe there's some sort of regression just in this team as a whole. We can see T-Law kind of maybe taking a little step back and not getting into the top 10, but I don't see it. I think he's taking a step forward.
Isn't this the hardest question that you feel like you have to answer? Because this is rankings that we've worked on all year, and you're like, how do I'm so convinced that this is the right top 5. So asking this is really putting you on the spot. Like, you got to look. There's a possibility for all of these guys to end up outside the top 10. It just doesn't feel likely. And here's the thing: what are the chances? The chances of one of your top 5s ending out of the top 10 is probably, I don't know, what would you say, 60%? There's probably not a percent that you put on it, but it's likely.
Out of top 10?
Yeah, I guess if we're looking at points per game, it's different.
That's what I'm saying.
I would say we look at like Lamar, and he hasn't been in the top 5, and we all
due to injuries, though.
Yeah.
Well, that's why, like, for me, like with the 4 that run and Mahomes, I'm like, they're gonna be top 10 points per game, bar no matter what. But in terms of, it's basically just if they stay healthy, like to me, like, whereas like to me, like I know obviously Rob's real high on Lawrence, but like obviously I'm a little bit lower in Mario, you're a little bit lower on Lawrence, and it's more for me, it's just the fact that there's so many running quarterbacks and he's doesn't run as much, right? So like it's like the floor for those runners is so high, because if they can throw 150 yards a game, and if they run for 70 and a touchdown, like it doesn't even matter what they do as a passer. So it's like, it makes it tough. It makes it really tough. But like you said, obviously all these guys are up there for a reason. So it's tough to really say great reasons for any of them to really fail.
And you'll actually, crud. Thank you. Why are you laughing? Because of that?
Yeah. We
Just
did it
'cause
back
of
and
the
forth. We were doing
Oh,
it back and forth.
I just noticed watching one of our things, like sometimes it takes a while to load up like a name, and I'm frantically like laughing. So I'm like, I gotta show this, and I'm clicking away, and it flashes on and off and on and off on the screen. It's because either it takes a while or you and I are both putting
It's
it
me
on.
and you doing it most of the time.
I'm sure. That's called unorganized. So a QB in my top 5, and this one pains me. That's right, Kirk at 7, Felix. Pains me to say, but obviously, and it's for a lot of the reasons that you said right there, Norton. Joe Burrow is the QB that I could see falling out of the top 10 if there's a chance one of these guys falls out. And here's why.
Mm-hmm.
He has his calf injury. I don't want to hone in on that. That's kind of a cheat way to do it. But like he literally doesn't do much on the ground. So say he has a very pedestrian, I don't know, 35 touchdowns, 4,400 yards. Let's say 32 touchdowns. That puts him probably 11, 12.
Mm-hmm.
So I think my fear is that if he doesn't go, I fully expect him to be in talks for MVP if this injury isn't serious. But he's the easiest because he doesn't have that rushing upside. He can easily, have a very good year and still not be great fantasy. We saw it with Justin Herbert last year. Justin Herbert's one of the guys, I know he's in my top 6, that looks like, he should for sure fall there. His TDs will go up. What if he does put up another 5,000 with 25 TDs? That puts him right back at 11, 12. TDs are such a tough thing, so it makes it a little bit difficult.
Especially with the rushing ability of all these other quarterbacks. Like if you're not a rushing quarterback, you need 30 plus.
Felix loves his cousins, he says, and so good at Kirk's.
I like it. Keep them coming. Is what I'll say.
No, don't encourage them. Don't. We golfed like professionals. All right, ready for the next question, boys? This one's gonna.
For sure.
Now we're getting into a little bit easier questions, right? These are things that you should be able to answer with a little bit more conviction. Name a QB outside of your top 15. So not only 12, top 15, that has sneaky potential to be a top 12 QB this season, and why? We'll start off with Rob first. We can go to full screen since we
start with Norton. Go ahead, Norton.
Let's go, Norton. Ah,
Jesus Christ.
So we're outside of our top 15 that has sneaky top 12 potential.
Deshaun Watson for Felix.
Interesting. Yeah. Outside of my top 15, I would say
there was a few guys last year. There was a few.
It's man, I don't want to just say number 16. Like even though technically that's probably what it is. I have two guys.
I know one for you, right? I know one exactly right up your alley, but I'm not going to say it until you go.
Okay.
All right.
I'm just gonna go with Russell Wilson. He's not the number 16 for me, but he is the last of that tier group where I have a big group of guys there. I think he's got some upside. Obviously, I think he finished QB 13 or 14 or something like that last year. So he really didn't have.
14.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say he really didn't have
QB 14, huh?
14 or 15. But
yeah, it wasn't as bad as like people thought it was for fantasy. It's just that there was so much hype for it to go so well, and then it was really bad, like aesthetically. But yeah, so he, I think, with Peyton coming in, it could be a lot better for them this year. And again, like I said, it wasn't as bad as it really seemed last year. So he's my QB 17 right now, I think. So it's not too far outside of the 15, but like I think he could be a top 12 guy again if things go right.
Yeah. For me, like he's one of those guys that rose up my board the past couple of weeks just because I've been thinking about this. You kind of hit it on the head, right? Like for how bad it played out last season for him, he still finished as a top 15 quarterback. It wasn't great by any means, but he was serviceable. And then you got to factor, like, if you look at it kind of apples to apples look at Trevor Lawrence, what happened his rookie season when he had a coach that didn't know what the hell he was doing. He gets a coach the next year, and he turns out a great season. Like, why can that not happen with Russ again this year? Bringing in Sean Payton, a great offensive-minded coach that can kind of help out Russ Wilson throughout this process of, adjusting in Denver. I don't see why it's out. It's crazy, and that's why he slipped into my top 12, because I think it's that's a very similar kind of situation as it was to T-Law last season.
Yeah. No, I think you're making good points. I find it funny that you're making these points, but ignore the opposite. Because there are some coaches that are taking over positions that should be a little bit afraid of. I.e. Dak Prescott.
Again, I don't think it's going to be as drastic of a turnaround as you think. I think they're still going to throw the ball a lot. I keep harping on this until this changes, Mario. Like, I'm going to just harp on it. Everyone's saying they're going to run the ball more. They did nothing in the offseason but get more receiving weapons for Dak and not get a running back behind Tony Pollard.
Jumping around here a little bit, where's the Geno Smith love is a question we just got. He's in all of our top 15, so he doesn't qualify in this question, Felix. So I want to transition, because what we just talked about Dak a little bit. You already gave your point. I will come back to you, Norton, because I have a good one that I thought you were going to take there.
Okay.
A QB outside of the top 15 that has sneaky potential to be a top 12 QB this season. I did put Dak in this category because I do see the path that you've always talked about. Maybe you have just brainwashed me. Maybe you have just slipped something while I wasn't looking into my coffee. I don't know what it is, but I could see the path for Dak to be top 12. Now, I'm going to get shade for both of these because these are both guys that people have consensus in the top 12. Hack Prescott is right. That's the real Dollar Tree Kirk Cousins right there. Danny Dimes is another one that I have outside of my top 15 that I can see sneaking into that top 12.
You should be
Here's the
definitely
thing,
in your top
both,
15.
I get it. I will come back to Danny Dimes because it's kind of funny. I could see them getting in the top 12. I understand everybody's points. I just don't have them there. I have other guys that I feel are a little bit safer. I feel like the changes that I've talked about in plenty of the podcasts with Dak scares me. I get it. I'm low. They finished 4-5 on the back half of the season last year. So props to them. This should be an easy call for me if you think of it that way, but they are both out of my top 15 right now. I do plan to maybe raise them a little bit before the season. Maybe in the top 15, but I'm not going to go too crazy. I'm just out on both of them right now.
Mm-hmm.
Robbie, name a QB outside of your top 15 that has sneaky potential to be a top 12.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the safe play with my number 16, and that's Tua. I have him right.
You're the crazy one.
Yeah, I love Tua.
He is the cheetah. He has the model.
And those are my reasons why he can get into that top 12 category. He's, again, not a mobile quarterback. We've seen it. We have seen him struggle in the NFL, so there could be some regression, which is what I'm kind of thinking when we saw how explosive this offense was last season. Get it on film, but he has all those weapons, so it's definitely doable. I'm still semi-concerned about, all the injury stuff that that happened last season and all that. So that's why he's a little bit lower in my rankings based off of I guess just I don't want to put him in my top 10 and have someone draft him according to that based on, the risk involved with injuries. So that's kind of why I have him out a little bit behind where I think points per game wise he'll finish. Like if he plays, every game, I think he'll be a top. He could be a top 12, really, like points per game wise. But that's why I have him ranked that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely fair concerns.
I think there are concerns there. To me, it's like this offense is. One of the things that you told me, Norton, I think this was last year. You said if Trey Lance is the starter there, this offense is QB proof or something like that. He's just maybe that was the beginning of this year. I can't remember. You said this offense is QB proof, and I have to think that Miami's a very similar situation, not because necessarily McDaniel, but him.
I don't know. Was it QB proof? Was it QB proof when Tua was out? I don't think it was. Not that they were playing anybody good. Skylar
Did Teddy
Thompson
do that bad?
Well, he was out too.
I mean, I get what you're saying, but we're talking about a third string rookie at that point.
But San Francisco played, the last pick in the draft, rookie that came in, and that's QB proof. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a difference there. Like, I get it. I get what you're saying, because he could bring in a backup quarterback, and sure, it's going to be fine. I don't think it's going to produce top 12 numbers, and I don't think it'll support the supporting cast, because we saw that. Like, Tyreek still got his, but Jalen Waddle took a massive step back when Tua was out of that offense.
I can see what you're saying. I mean, when Tua is in that offense, it was pretty explosive. The reason that he's not higher up this year, I have to think, is everyone's scared of him getting hurt. It's the biggest concern that I have seen. I don't know.
I have no idea.
Yes.
Did he get hurt?
Terry McLaurin got hurt a little bit. I don't know exactly what happened, I guess, but he's apparently in the preseason game right now. He got banged up a little bit. I don't know if it's bad or not. Yeah. So,
are you watching it right now, Norton?
No. I saw a bunch of notifications pop on my phone.
I thought I saw him watching in his phone over there. It was like
great.
He's a multitasker, man. No wonder he gets so much damn stuff done.
I told you guys, man.
Yeah, just never stop.
Efficiency. It's all about it.
But. So I thought Sam Howell was going to be your pick there, Norton. I thought maybe you saw the sneaky love with Sam Howell.
Yeah, I mean, a little bit. He's a guy. Yeah, it's definitely aggressive.
Well, if we wanted to get aggressive,
Yeah, A-Rich is aggressive, but
what's that?
I said A-Rich is aggressive for me, but Sam Howell is,
See,
that's crazy talk.
Yeah. You know my love for A-Rich, so it's
I know
he's gonna keep moving up. We're gonna be climbing, baby. We're gonna be climbing that mountain together.
I mean, I'll probably be the one that looks like an idiot at the end of the season.
But no, Sam Howell, like, I do think he's sneaky from like where he was going, and especially early on in best ball season, going at like QB 28, like that kind of thing. You could get Terry McLaurin and or Dotson, and get Howell super late in best balls, and so I was in on stuff like that. And I honestly think there'll be times where Howell is like streamer worthy in one QB league, and that's part of why I'm like fine ranking like all the guys with massive upside above like some of the safe guys, because I'd rather just take the shots on those, and then there'll be a lot of guys like Howell, Pickett, those kind of guys, whatever, that'll be streamer worthy at different points in the season. So that's why I do go pretty aggressive when it comes to the QB ranks.
Yeah, no, I get it for sure. Oh, fuck. I thought I was still on mute.
I was like, what happened, dude?
I thought I was still on mute.
All right. We're going to shift gears a little bit and go a little more dynasty here. Name a QB you are trading a 24-second semi-cheap. So you could wiggle that to a player of the equal value, whatever you want to say, in a super flex dynasty before the season starts, because you're a win now team. And
trading for him?
Trading for what QB would you offer at max a 24-second value? So if you could equate that to a player but at max, like a cheap QB, essentially.
I'll start. I would say Stafford. I think you can get him probably with a second. He's old. You don't have too much time with him, but he's still locked into the LA offense. He's got Cooper Kupp. If he's healthy, he should produce at a decent enough clip, maybe top 15. I'm not expecting top 5 like we saw a couple seasons ago. But, he's, again, attached to one of the best offensive-minded coaches that we've seen in a long time. So if you can get him for a second, if you're in a win now, I think it's an easy call you might have him for 2 seasons, but it would probably be worth it for a second.
Yeah, no, I like that. I don't know. So, man, I don't know if you guys tell me if you think that a second would pull. I have 2 guys that come to mind.
I don't think Geno anymore.
No, I don't think Geno anymore. Even though I think early in the
I don't think so.
Early in the off season it was possible, but
maybe because there's all the QB visits.
Yeah. So The two I was thinking of though would have been Derek Carr and Russell Wilson. I don't know if those get it done or not.
Maybe Derek Carr. I don't think
maybe Derek Carr is how I was feeling too.
That's what I was. Derek Carr was the first one because I think Russ might command a little bit more at this point. People are getting a little bit more excited as the season goes on.
Yeah.
As the offseason goes on, I mean, but so I would say Carr. I still think he's like the perfect QB2. And I mean, it's funny too because I just wrote an article recently, maybe a week ago, bashing Carr about how he's one of my biggest fades, whatever. But it's was geared towards one QB leagues, Superflex leagues, dynasty like that as a QB2. He's a perfect guy to get cheap if you're a contender. You don't have to give up a whole lot, I wouldn't think. And he's not quite as old as like people think. I mean, he's still, what is he, 30, 31, 30? Like he's not that he's not that old.
About 31.
Yeah, he's not really like that old.
Russ ain't that old. What is Russ? 34?
Yeah, 33, 34, something like that. So like
32.
It's like Kirk Cousins'
Derek
age.
Carr's 32.
32.
Derek Carr's 32. I think Russ is 34.
Yeah.
And Kirk Cousins is probably like 32, 33.
Yeah, I think you're right on that. And so like, yeah, I think Carr could be had for that because a lot of people, he's kind of a boring guy, and like I said, he's like 32, but you probably get a few more good. Yeah, you probably get a few more good years out of him, and especially like QB2, he's always in that range. He's always like QB 14 to 20, like that's what he finishes every year.
I got real nasty, much nastier than both of you. So you guys can screw off. But it's gonna sound gross. It might be Tannehill or Mac Jones for me.
I was gonna say Tannehill's probably my second.
Tannehill was the one I thought of too.
Yeah.
Tannehill, new OC, new weapon. Mac Jones, new OC, not really any new weapons. So both of those have that upside. I have a Kenny Pickett question mark, but I don't think he gets it done.
I don't either.
You don't think a second one get it?
I don't think so.
I don't think.
Yeah,
I don't think
he's too young.
Anymore.
I was gonna say I think because of the age that it'd probably take more than a second.
And there's still people are still excited about him.
I'm getting excited about him.
I'm not.
I'm not super, but like he's one of the guys. He's one of the guys that was like hell for me. Where like I think he's gonna have some streamer appeal. I think he has some weapons and that you can stack with it at solid prices.
I'd rather have Howell, honestly.
No.
Ooh, that's a little spicy.
Too spicy. Too much. Too much
That's
spice. Too much
spice. He's going full in.
You'd rather have the fifth round QB that was drafted in the same class as Kenny Pickett, who is the first QB off the board and the only first round QB.
Just because he was a first round QB in that draft class doesn't mean anything to me, to be honest with you.
So you're just going with Sam Howell because of the unknown. He was a rookie, and he did fine.
Did he do fine? He had like 5 touchdowns or some shit? Like
okay, so his touchdowns were low.
Yeah. Yeah, they were.
Danny Dimes had 10, 15.
Is Kenny Pickett running for 700 yards? Can Sam Howell? Maybe.
Who's got bigger hands though? I mean,
definitely Sam Howell.
Yeah, but we're talking about like Danny Dimes, who has yet to put in a passing season. You'd rather have
than Pickett?
No, I'm saying in sense of
where are you going with Danny Dimes now?
Okay, I went too far. When you're looking at Sam Howell, you're going with just an unknown. I don't know what he offers sort of aspect. It has
somewhat an unknown.
Like you played at UNC.
Yeah,
it's not an awful conference. It's what AAC.
Where did Pickett play? Pitt.
That's a pretty tough conference.
Is it? Not really, dude. Not really.
What is that? The Big 12, wasn't it?
Anyways, back to what I'm saying is there's enough like good things coming out of camp about Sam Howell and what they were talking about last season as well with him being a passing
They're same conference.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I thought, yeah. And then add on top of the rushing ability that I think Sam Howell brings far superior to Kenny Pickett. Like we keep talking about that.
You know, Kenny ran in college, right? You know he ran. You know he changed the game. He's the one that did the slide.
A true game changer.
He's a game changer.
Okay.
Do you remember his slide?
How about Mario? How about this? We have a friendly wager.
Ooh.
Kenny
Okay,
Pickett
I'll take
versus
Howell
Sam
versus
Howell?
Pickett.
Oh,
Howell
this is
versus
such an
Pickett.
easy bet, dude.
Okay, so take it.
He's got George Pickens.
And he's got
Future
T-Mac
GOAT.
and Jahan Dotson.
I do love T-Mac and John. T-Mac might not be there.
Well, now
That makes
then
me
we'll have
really
to
sad.
reevaluate.
He's my flex option right now, dude. That makes me
We'll have
sad.
to reevaluate if he's out for a significant
No,
amount of time.
no. The bet is made. The bet is made. Look, virtual handshake. Yep,
Okay.
we're on the board.
Let's do
Ooh.
him.
Is that the first live bet of the season?
No, probably
I think
not.
we've had a
I
couple.
feel like Alex gets in a
Okay.
ton of these. We're gonna do one last question and we'll wrap it up here if that's cool with you guys. Did you guys have anything else to get to?
No.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah.
The only reason is because I just want to talk about my favorite QB ever. You know, is there a QB you're trying to buy in Dynasty before the season starts because greatness is about to happen? And how much are you overpaying for them?
Sam motherfucking Howell, baby.
No,
I'm just
no. Okay.
I'm kidding. But I would try to get him if you can get him cheap. Like, I would do it for sure.
At this point, you can't. Like people, the Sam Howell owners
I
are
think
like,
you could
"Well,
still get him. You could still get
I
him, I
don't.
think.
I don't know if a second would get him. I don't know if a second would get him.
If
Now
you
that
can get
his
him for a
name's
second,
starting,
I'm doing that all day. I'm thinking like
I-
second and
I would
a
do a
piece.
second. Okay.
Second and a piece, like a whatever they need, kind of, like a backup running back, a older receiver, something like
Sometimes
that.
it's nice to throw in a rookie if you're like a win now team and you're like like I hate to say this because I value
Tank
him
Bigsby.
pretty highly. Tank Bigsby, Laporta, I could think of like it's a rookie, it's high upside rookie, but you're like I want to go for the ship now. They'll value this.
Mhm.
I think that's an overpay. I think that's a big overpay. But if you're in Superflex, sometimes these QBs are hard to get.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
And
are.
my real, I guess, guy that I would go for if you can go get him it'd be so hard to get him, but I'm gonna switch it because I think he's too hard to get. I was gonna say Justin Fields. I think Justin
He is too
Fields
hard to get.
is going to break. Like if he's the QB1 overall, I would not be surprised. I think he could.
Yeah, but how much
break
it's gonna
the
cost so much.
fantasy football. That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm kind of backtracking on that a little bit. So I'll pivot. to Daniel Jones. I think you can get him at a good enough price where it's not going to kill your team, set your team back significantly. But I think he has the real possibility of finishing in the top 8 at the QB position this year. If he takes a step forward passing wise, keeps that rushing ability, you bring in Darren Waller where he should be a lot better in the red zone for touchdowns. Like I think Daniel Jones can have a nice season.
I'm in on Danny Dimes action, baby. I'm here for it. I'm here for it. I am here.
Norton, who are you going with?
Yeah, Norton, my bad. Maybe.
I mean, maybe I'll just go.
I thought you were transitioning into the answer.
No. I was looking at something, but no. I mean, I think you probably know who I'm going to go with here, and it's Anthony Richardson, baby. I mean, it's
how much are you spending? What's a max spend you would do on this?
So let me.
And you got to be conscious of like you're speaking out to whoever's watching right now. You got to be conscious of that because I know picks don't necessarily value to you.
I was gonna say I'm pulling up my nice little dynasty rankings calculator,
which you can get on our rankings. Right, it's on the rankings page.
I don't think it's on the rankings.
We could put it up there soon. We'll put it up there soon.
So you guys can't get it. Sorry, people.
You can get it on my link tree, but we're gonna get it in there. We're gonna get it into the dad bod stuff soon. I've been meaning to put it up there, so we'll get it in there. But I do have them. So looking across the board, comparing like with other positions, I have them equivalent value to Jonathan Taylor, Cooper Kupp, and the 1.02 of this. I think he's the 1.02 in a Superflex. Yeah. So, and then same thing. I would give up for in 2024 picks. I would give up any pick except probably the 101, maybe 102. There's no way to really know that, obviously. But
yeah, because
unless you're like
Caleb Williams or Marvin Harrison,
right. So like
Which at
so
this
like,
time feels like greatness.
right. So that'd be hard to do, but again, I wouldn't. The thing is, it's hard to even know if that's what you would the pick would turn out to be. So I probably would give it up. I'm just so in on him with his rushing. Like I mentioned multiple times with Justin Fields last year, ran for 1,200. He didn't really do much as a passer. He was QB5. We had Daniel Jones, 700 rushing yards, only 3,200 passing, and 15 touchdowns. QB 10. This guy to me is going to be top 10 QB in points per game as soon as he touches the field. I think he's going to run so much. So it's just I'd rather have him over Deshaun Watson. I'd rather have him over Kyler, Tua, Bryce, Eckler, Pollard, Chubb, Barkley, Cooper Kupp, Diggs, Higgins, Tyreek, Travis Kelce, you name it. I'd rather have Anthony Richardson in a Superflex dynasty league.
You love, and this is the question for it. It's for your love. So I actually just drafted him in my first dynasty. I finally got him.
It feels great, doesn't it?
Oh,
It's exciting. It's just fun. You're just excited. And you feel better about it. It just uplifts your life. Like it's just
Dude, things just started. Like I heard birds chirping, and it was nighttime when I was drafting, dude. Like we're hooking up.
Exactly. It's a whole different outlook.
I put on his song right after, dude, and I was like, yeah, it's my jam now.
He's getting it.
I mean, it's Jordan Love for me. It's Jordan Love. And nobody wants to hear what some of the offers to Rob that I have made in the offseason for Jordan Love and been turned out. So I don't even know what to tell you, Rob, or Norton. I don't know what to tell you on what I would offer for him because A, everybody knows I like him. So they ask for the world. B, we are in our Dad Bod Fantasy. It's our league, which is 14 and it's super flex. So it really spikes QB values, but it also, like in this time frame from April to the start of the year, picks are worth dirt at this point to everybody. And so it's tough to know exactly what I would offer for him. I have offered a ton. I still don't have him in that league, and it really pains me. And yeah, I mean, I would go out and get Jordan Love. If I'm being honest, I think it's like a 25 first. I think could get him maybe. But I think if somebody has Jordan Love, they either did what Rob did and waited for 3 years. Or like they have a little bit more loves. I don't know if I would go as far to say give up 2 firsts.
That's what I'm saying. Like if you have him on your team and you still have him, you're not. It would take a lot to move him. Just
it's probably a player. It's probably a player, right?
Yeah, you either sat on him for so long and you're like, he's finally going to get the reins. Let's see what the hell this kid's got. Or if you did that like me, you traded him before the draft to get a haul, right? Like that was kind of the move. So yeah, you'd have to probably give up like, I would say like a draft pick, a first, like a 25 first, and then on top of a player, like a good player.
Yeah,
it'll be tough.
It makes sense. I was trying to pull him
big year coming for him, boys. Big year coming for J Love. Preseason hype a little bit. Is through the roof right now.
It really is. I've been coming around a little bit.
As long as he just targets Luke Musgrave, that's
there is a lot of Packers hype, man.
I'll tell you what. I will not go one podcast without bringing up Luke Musgrave.
He said he's obligated by the sponsors to plug the
Wisconsin Cheese has generously sponsored the podcast, and we are obligated to bring up Luke Musgrave every chance we can.
All right, so we have all our episodes for the next 2 weeks are scheduled. Wednesday we have a debate gate part 3. I don't know if it's the last one of the year. Tomorrow we're dropping an episode, right? I just got good feedback on our episodes.
Yes, we are dropping one tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern. It will be the which one is it? Hold on, 2 seconds. AFC or NFC South, I believe.
NFC South.
I'm gonna get the guest list. I'm sorry. We are
Yeah,
doing
that's a good one.
NFC South. Okay, so we're gonna have. Do you want to say Zada, Mario? You love saying his
Zada,
name.
my guy.
Zada Cansabedian for the Falcons, Frank
Great
Amarante
stash.
for the Saints, Jeff Bell for Carolina, and the one and only Mr. Chuck Bass for Tampa Bay. It was a fun one. All these guys are great. They know what the hell they're talking about. So definitely listen to that if you guys want to get some inside scoops on these teams. And then also tomorrow I will be dropping some of the guests we had on. We did a My Guys segment on every one of the people we had on. So I'm going to clip a bunch of the My Guys together. It's kind of like a little cheat sheet for you if you guys want to get a quick listen in on who these guys think are going to explode this season. It's a good way to kind of target some players and see what some of these experts think for this upcoming season on the guys that they want to get on their teams.
And then, so the Wednesday we have Debate Gate. Are we Thursday? We're dropping one.
Thursday we are dropping another one.
Boom, boom, boom.
Breaking news, everybody. This is breaking news. Thursday we will be dropping. I believe it's going to be the NFC West. We will be dropping NFC West on Thursday. And then the final two, Mario, we're going to have to sit down and discuss. Definitely one at least Saturday, which will probably be NFC East, would be my guess. And then we'll have to figure out the AFC South. I want to get it out before all these drafts happen, so maybe we'll drop it Sunday morning is what I'm kind of thinking. But we will talk about it, and hopefully
Shade.
Hopefully we'll get all these guys. I want to get all these out by Sunday so you guys can have it for your drafts. But it's a lot of content that will be thrown out. They're all like an hour and a half. So we'll kind of discuss. Maybe that last one will come out on Monday, but we'll get through it.
I'm excited, ready for the season.
Definitely.
Any other pieces before we're out of here, boys?
No, I think we hit it good.
Go
Stay
get Luke
tuned,
Musgrave.
everyone. Go get Luke. Oh God, you're just gonna just keep plugging them. For myself, for Robbie, Bobby, for Norton, we love you guys. Peace out. Thank you for watching our episode. If you enjoyed this episode, please make sure you like and subscribe to our YouTube channel.
If you aren't already following us on Twitter, check us out at DadBodFS.
We'll be posting all of our best clips and videos to all of our social media: TikTok, Instagram, Twitch, Facebook, YouTube. You can find us on there at DadBod Fantasy Squad.
Lastly, if you'd rather just listen, we make sure we post our audio of each episode on all the major streaming platforms. Stick with us all season long so together we can count our trophies and not our calories.